Nobody here. Just me. It's Thanksgiving, so. All right. Wait a couple minutes and then get started. Oh, 2 people in. Hello, hello. Couple people in. Let's see. Welcome, welcome. All right. Wait a couple minutes and then get into the update. It's F1. Mess. 5 people in. All right. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Welcome to this week's live. All right. Thumbs up already. Thank you. 8 people in. All right. So this is Thanksgiving weekend here in Vegas. Hello from London. Hello. From Canada. Awesome. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. So we normally try to do this between noon and 1 local time. We've got some guests in town, and we were out at Hoover Dam, Lake Mead, Boulder City, doing some exploring. The weather's absolutely beautiful right now. So we'll talk about that in a minute for this week's update. What to expect this Thanksgiving weekend. We're going to talk about F1, the impact that had here locally, which was massive. I'm sure you guys follow lots of Vegas people on social media and have seen that it's kind of been all over the place for F1. Some people say they love it. Some people hate it. Some hated it and then loved it afterwards. So pretty mixed. And I'm going to keep my own personal opinion out of it. I would just share with you what happened, how it went, what the impact was, and what the plans are for upcoming future Formula Ones. So let's talk about Thanksgiving right now. It's a long weekend. We did stay on the strip Sunday, and we noticed that even on Monday, there were a lot of people coming in for the week, for Thanksgiving week. And I get it. I've come here for Thanksgiving before we moved here, and we visited for Thanksgiving. I think we stayed 5 or 7 days. We stayed here in Vegas for the Thanksgiving holiday. It's a lot of fun. The weather is perfect. It's kind of, there are people here, but it's not crazy like summer. So you still have that energy, but it's not overwhelming. Table minimums are a little bit lower because, again, it's not as busy, but there's still plenty of people gambling and moving around. Good thing about restaurants is that they're not all crazy because there's not as many people here, but they're still open. Hey, Gary. F1. Still think they should. Yeah. Yep. Should cut the F1 out. Well, so, the whole draw, right? It's just like if they held F1 in Hawaii or on Oahu, it would be in Waikiki, right? Because that's what people see. They think about just seeing Diamond Head in the background of all those beautiful shots. So I get it, without doing it on the strip. Would there be as much interest from the viewer to want to see Las Vegas Boulevard and say, oh, look, there's Caesars, I've stayed there before, or look at Mandalay Bay? It probably wouldn't be as exciting. You could probably have it anywhere. So I get it. We'll talk about that a little bit more here. So, all right, so let's talk about the weather. If you guys have never been to Vegas around Thanksgiving, this time of year, it's actually perfect. You have mid to upper 50s into the low 60s, but full sun, especially when the wind is down. It's really comfortable. I wore a T-shirt today and jeans, and absolutely comfortable out there because, again, there's no sun or no wind, and it's full sun. So it's a great time of year to explore around the valley. Check out Red Rock. Check out the Arts District, downtown. Head out to Hoover Dam and Lake Mead. It's not going to be too crazy in terms of temperature, very comfortable to be outside, and not as busy as during the summer when there's just so many people here in Vegas because it's summer and people are on vacation and that kind of stuff. So it's really a great time of year, and you want to get out early because the sun goes down about 4:30. 4:30, depending on where you are in the valley, it's pretty much the sun's heading down, and the temperature drops immediately when the sun goes down. You can even feel it just being in the sun and then being in the shade. It's a big difference. So explore, and think about layers when you're going to be here. So let's get into F1. F1 was overall, I'd say it was a messy success. And that's not my opinion. That's just based on what was reported from local news and different folks that attended on different days. So day one, which was Thursday, was an absolute disaster. Hey, Lisa. Thursday, day one, was an absolute disaster for so many reasons. So first of all, day one on Thursday there was supposed to be two practices that were going to happen. And the two practices did happen. Well, 1.25 practices happened. So day one was also the day that F1 put all these local appreciation tickets on the market for like $200 per ticket, to kind of say I'm sorry to the locals for the giant traffic disaster that they created in the lead up to the event that kicked off on Thursday. So the opening ceremony, beautiful. All the celebrities were in town. The celebrities that live here were out. And really, that's what this was about, right? That's what this race was all about and why they had it here in Vegas, to be able to parade the celebrities, local and not local, to say, look who else is here in Vegas, to really give you that FOMO, right? Like, I want to be there because look at everybody that's there. And then the locals that did participate in the day one, that bought these $200 tickets for day one, kind of appeased them a little bit, like, oh, I'll go check it out and see what it's all about. So then the very first race, I'm sure you guys probably saw in your local news if you paid attention to F1, a water access cover blew off of the strip under one of the driver's cars, completely destroying part of the car. Like, the engine was damaged. They had to replace like the back fin, the front fin. It was an absolute disaster. So the first practice race ended right there. There was no more. And then flying tomorrow from Boston. Thanks for the great info. Yeah, Ray, just expect like kind of busy at the airport. So give yourself some time for the Lyft or taxi, shuttle, whatever your mode of transportation is, because it is a little bit busy. It's Thanksgiving Day. A lot of people do come in on Thanksgiving Day through the airport, and also leave on Thanksgiving Day through the airport, mostly local people that are going somewhere else to visit people for Thanksgiving. But the weather's absolutely beautiful. It's going to be full sun, high 50s. You're going to have a great time. So just prepare a little bit of a delay at the airport for traffic. So then they were going to check all the manhole covers all on the entire track to make sure they were welded down, because apparently they should have been welded down before the race even took place. So that was kind of embarrassing for the local F1 community here that was helping to coordinate this and put it on. Apparently, it's common practice in any F1 race, whatever city they're racing in, that the manhole covers would be welded down, because the cars are driving over so fast that it actually creates a vacuum under the car that sucked the manhole cover up. And apparently that's common knowledge, but nobody in Vegas knew to double check the manhole covers. So that was definitely 100% embarrassing for the city of Las Vegas, for the state of Nevada. They should have known better. So what that did was created tremendous delays in the second race for day one. Now, remember, there were single day $200 tickets for locals, and there were actually quite a bit of people that came in just for the day one, just for only that Thursday part of the race, because the tickets were so much less expensive and room rates were less expensive than Friday, Saturday, day 2 and 3 of the race. So a lot of people came to town just for that Thursday. So they got 8 minutes of the first practice before it was shut down because of the manhole cover. And then it got delayed. So people were sitting around. and they were told, "Oh, just wait, just wait. The second race is going to take place, or practice is going to take place any moment now." And then about 2 o'clock in the morning, security starts coming around and kicking everybody out. Everybody had to leave. They didn't really say why. They would, because the second practice was still going to take place. They just didn't want any spectators there. Not still not 100% why, because they shut that communication down immediately. Nobody ever gave a reason as to why they were asking people to leave at 2 o'clock in the morning, being that they bought tickets for that first practice, and the second practice, the second part of the day one, hadn't taken place yet, and they had legit tickets to be there to watch this race, and they never canceled the race. They just kicked all the spectators out. So everybody that went on day one, if they only came in for day one, got to see the first race on the first day. So the first practice on the first day, about 8 minutes of it. Then they hung around for however many hours, 4 hours ish, and then all got kicked out. You got to go home. So that was huge. That was just like a massive disaster for them. And then because everybody was getting kicked out at the same time, it created a massive traffic mess, because you had all these hundreds of thousands of people trying to leave the same 3+ mile area all at the same time. So the shuttles were maxed out, the monorails were maxed out. Forget about trying to get a taxi or ride share. You had people walking on roads that were closed to traffic, but there was no other way to get back to their hotel. It was just a massive, massive disaster. And F1 apologized by giving those people impacted on day one a $200 credit to an online Formula One retail shop. So that was the apology from F1 for that whole day one. So that was a complete disaster. Day two and day three apparently went off without a hitch, although the F1, so inside the F1 organization, you've got the drivers of the teams that are racing, just like NASCAR. The NASCAR is the big umbrella, and underneath the umbrella, you've got the teams that manage the cars and the racers and the pits and all that. And then you have the driver that's really the face of that team, right? So the champion, Max, I'm not going to say his last name because I'll butcher it, but Max, you look it up, he's the champion. He had already clinched the championship for this season. So for him, coming to Vegas was an absolute waste of time. And he was very vocal in interviews saying, I think this is a complete spectacle that's 99% show, 1% race. He said, instead of spending all this money on parading celebrities across a television screen and doing those interviews, the city of Las Vegas should have spent more time and resources educating the locals on what F1 is about, what does a race series mean, just like we know NASCAR for the most part, right? You win points and all of that kind of stuff, and that determines how you win really the series and different championships within the NASCAR series, like the South Point 400, for example. So he felt that it was just a big, just PR stunt that had nothing to really to do with the race itself, because the race really didn't matter because he's already won for the entire season. So he was very vocal several times about the race, and every time he got a chance to be on camera, he was talking negatively about F1, the organization, and what a spectacle it was, and how they should have been more respectful to the locals, and how he felt bad about the impact and all of that stuff. Now, he wasn't saying anything negative about Vegas. He said, actually, and paraquoting him, where he said he loves Vegas. I love to come to Vegas. I love to party. I love to gamble. I love to drink and be with my friends. He said, but in an F1 racing capacity, absolutely not. F1 has no place in Vegas. And trying to bring people to Vegas as drivers and team members to be here with this race. And that's not what Vegas is really about, is what the message that he was putting across. So really a black eye for F1. Maybe they care, maybe they don't. I don't know. I don't know the race, the turnover in terms of drivers for F1. If it's like NASCAR, where you get drivers that are racing the same car 10, 15, 20 years. Is F1 like that? I don't know. Is it faster turnover where F1 is kind of like, who cares what Max has to say? We'll be on in a few years anyway. We'll have somebody else here. Maybe that's the case. I don't know. But they did not get a lot of positive press from within their own organization, which I think is pretty embarrassing. And maybe that's that's the way they run it. They don't really care with their drivers' opinions. So let's talk about projected economic impact here in Vegas. So it's estimated that overall for the entire weekend, not one particular day, not Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, but the entire weekend, about 315,000 tourists came to town specifically for F1. Now, again, I'm not saying that there was 300,000 people on each day of the race, but overall for the weekend, about 315,000 people is the estimate of folks that came to Vegas specifically for F1. Is that true? We won't know until really the resorts and the gaming numbers come out for an overall number in November. How did November do this year versus last year? That's really going to be the telltale. And that's really any business, right? If you're in any business or in management and any business, retail or other, you're looking at how are we doing this month, this year against last year, the very same month. So once November closes out, the city and county of Las Vegas they'll be able to really determine, was F1 a success? Did it have the desired impact financially here in Vegas? Was it worth it compared to the revenue that the city did last year, November? Because really, other than F1, there's nothing new that happened this November from last year, November. NFR was here. The rodeo was here last year. Everything is the same. Football, the Raiders were already here. Hockey was already here. The only difference this year, November, is going to be F1. So we'll see when the numbers come out. Did they generate the $1.5 billion in revenue that they were expecting? And that's really what how they were trying to appease the public and trying to keep the public and the locals to stay patient, to bear with them, because it's this overall monetary impact that we were going to feel here, and of course would trickle down into the local community. So, oh, hey, Probert, thanks so much. I appreciate it. So we'll see early December when we look at November numbers if it was a success or not. We don't know. So let's see. So that 1.2 billion, sorry, I said 1.5, $1.2 billion that's estimated to be the revenue that comes into Vegas here. A lot of the small businesses, though, did not see any of that revenue, which, I'm a small business owner. Obviously, my television show production company, Ninth Island Connection, we're a small business, non-traditional. So we won't see the impact that retail businesses or your small local restaurants that have been impacted because of the track all around that really restricted access to a lot of the small businesses. You guys know, if you've been to Vegas, you know that Batista's hole in the wall down there by the stage door, at least you must, majority of you would know that it exists because it's been there forever. They almost had to shut down because of F1. And all of the construction around the restaurant. Now, this restaurant's been there over 50 years. They almost had to shut down because there was barely any access. You had to access through an alley next to Batista's to get to the restaurant. So they saw an immediate drop off in revenue, and all F1 could do is say, "I'm sorry." I mean, and there's so many more stories like that. The stage door saw a huge decline in revenue. Specifically due to F1 and the construction, rerouting of traffic, both vehicle and pedestrian traffic, away from these establishments. So we'll see. The city has not said anything on how they might help give these small businesses that were directly impacted and almost had to shut down a portion of the revenue that came in, because these guys sacrificed a lot. They almost lost their businesses because of F1 and the overall city generating an estimated $1.2 billion in revenue. So we'll see. But I'm going to guess in just the short amount of time, 5 years that I've been here, overall, 3 years about we've been in Vegas, that the city's probably we'll just never hear from it. We'll just never hear about it, about the small businesses ever again and how they were impacted. So they'll put a lid on that pretty quickly. So let's see. So they have acknowledged that they could have done better, which, overall, and I'm not taking a big dump all over F1 financially, massive impact here, in Vegas. And they said that they could have done better. Hopefully, they did take a lot of notes and a lot of takeaways on some best practices that they can implement next year, because we are contracted for at least 3 years that this race will happen, with an option to extend up to 10 years. So hopefully they took away some best practices on how they can have a lower impact on the local community, for next time, make it done faster, cleaner. We'll see. So now they are estimating that everything will be torn down and cleaned up like F1 was never here, in 6 to 8 weeks. So we are now in week 1 of that. Now, we did go down on Sunday, the day immediately after the race, and nothing had happened. Day 2, post race, there was nothing going on. Now, yesterday would be a week out, just over a week out from the race. We went out, 5 days: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days. So we did go down to New York, and to see Mad Apple, and there were actively removing barriers off of the racetrack there. So we'll see, Lisa. So they were actively removing barriers, because it's not a crazy summer weekend, but it is a pretty busy weekend here in Vegas, especially for drive-in traffic. Folks from Texas, Arizona, Utah, California do drive into town this weekend, because it's just a long weekend and you can drive in and out pretty quickly. So we'll see. We'll be here, though. We're staying on the Strip again. I know for sure. It's probably around second week of December we'll be down there. So we'll give an update. That'll be about a month out-ish, 3 to 4 weeks, depending on exactly when we say. We're not 100% yet, but around the second week of December, we'll give another update on what it looks like after about 4 weeks of F1 recovery. So now, some rumors about F1. So one of the things that is rumored to happen, and this is a lot of different sources. This is MGM employees. This is Bellagio employees. So there's a lot of different sources that are saying that the trees out in front of Bellagio, there will be trees there again. They're going to put them in the ground, but apparently they're going to be in giant pots in the ground, right where the trees were before, so that for next year, all they have to do is just remove these giant pots and relocate them to wherever they're going to store them in the valley, rather than replanting and cutting down trees again, which nobody was a big fan of. It's just like aesthetically, the trees just kind of like made it nicer. They did provide shade there. Obviously, birds lived in these trees. They were fully mature trees, which are, we do live in the middle of the desert. So you're not going to have a whole lot of 50-year-old fully mature trees in the Vegas Valley. So for them to just chop them all down in the middle of the night like thieves, I know I'm being dramatic, but that's how they did it. They knew that the public was going to push back on it, and they deliberately cut them down overnight, like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. They were out there cutting these trees down. So when daylight, people are coming out, the trees were just gone suddenly one day. So they're going to put trees back. They're going to put them in giant pots, so that for next year's race, they can just remove the potted trees and relocate them to store them. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens, because they also said that they were going to relocate these trees. So cut off after the FUS contract is over, not worth the stress and frustration that people had to deal with. Yeah, Gary, there's a lot of people that agree with you, a lot. And like I said, it's supposed to generate, at the end of the day, we all know that Las Vegas Boulevard is pretty much the cash register of the state, and they're going to keep that thing full. They're going to make sure that till is full and the cash register is ringing. They are contracted for at least 3 years, I believe, is the guarantee. Like they have to put it on for at least 3 years. Because of the investment that F1 made in some of the construction. F1 paid for a portion of the road paving, of course, obviously all of the signage, all of the marketing, all of the promotion of the event, for it being a multi-year event. So they're going to want to at least recoup those costs if they can. And this is was supposed to generate, or is predicted to generate, $1.2 billion in revenue for the state. Now, is that net? Is that gross? They did not say that, so we don't know, after everybody gets paid, how much of that $1.2 billion is actual profit that's going to go back into the community here in Vegas. They did not say that either. And of course they wouldn't, because it's all projected revenue, which is an estimate, right? And being that this has not happened here in Vegas before, they really have nothing to gauge it against. So where they came up with this number, who knows where they came up with the number 1.2 billion, but we'll see. And I mean, if they come close to that, they will most likely have it at least another year. And then, like I said, they're guaranteed 3 years with an option to extend up to 10 years. But you know what? Immediately following the race happened on Saturday, and Sunday I saw advertisements for tickets for 2024 already. So we know that that's happening. The tickets went on sale less than 24 hours, actually probably less than 12 hours from the race ending on Saturday. Tickets were on sale already for 2024. So maybe they're trying to see if we do a pre-sale right now with all of the excitement, people drinking a little bit, excited to be here, the nostalgia of being in Vegas, how many people would just buy more tickets for next year immediately, and maybe as a gauge as to whether they should have the race here next year or not, based on that initial reaction. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right. So that's it for F1 right now, but I will be continuing to post shorts about F1 as we get more news throughout the week, especially this long weekend with people in town, as we see what's going on with F1 as far as the teardown, recovery, any more news related to that. We'll definitely post more shorts here on our channel. We'll also be doing a lot of posting on our Instagram. So if you're not already, follow us. We're Ninth Island Connection. Same as YouTube. On Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're Twitter, we're everywhere. So check us out there, because we're going to post there a lot more frequently. It's just easier than having to edit, and it takes more time to put videos together for YouTube than we can just throw something up on Instagram in a story, etc. So you guys get it. We don't make money on any of those channels at all, so not trying to steer you guys that way for any reason other than we post more information on there than we do on YouTube. So let's see. So let's move on from there. Let's talk about the Sphere. So the next residency, this is a rumor, is that Beyonce may be the next long-term event at the Sphere here in Vegas. So we had U2, which was a massive success. They sold out every single show. Postcards from Earth has been a massive success. So now the word on the street is that Beyonce may be coming to town for a long-term engagement at the Sphere here in Vegas. So we'll see. Also, Open Table, I don't know if you guys saw this on your local news, whether online news or broadcast television. Open Table has released the most recent, I'm looking at my notes here, guys, most recent list of top restaurants in the country. And 6 of the top restaurants in the country are right here in Vegas. Now, they may be a little bit, I was surprised by a couple of them, just because I've just never been interested. We're not a foodie channel. You guys know that if you watch our channel, our videos, we're not a foodie channel at all. We do sometimes, share food videos here on YouTube, but that's not the basis of our channel. So I was really surprised to see that the Eiffel Tower restaurant in Paris, Las Vegas on the Strip is one of the top restaurants in the country, according to Open Table. And that's based on, so what is it based on? It's based on 5-star reviews. It's based on reservations that are like more than a month out, user reviews like right on site, photos, engagement, all of that stuff. So there's a lot of different factors that go into making this top list for Open Table. So Eiffel Tower restaurant, I've never been there. If you guys have, please comment below. Should it be there or should it not be there? I don't know. Let's see, Golden Steer. That one's not surprising. Golden Steer has been in Vegas, I think like 50 years or something like that. They've been open. Great spot. They're still in the same exact location that they've always been, down there by the Strat. They just recently started the first expansion ever of their restaurant in the 50 years that they've existed. And that was just a few weeks ago. They started an expansion to accommodate more people because they're just so busy and they're booked, 2-3 months in advance. They can be booked. So Golden Steer, Hell's Kitchen, over by Caesar's Palace. I was surprised by that one. I have eaten there, and I feel like that Hell's Kitchen is more of a maybe go once so that you can say you did it, take some pictures. Hey, we went to Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen at Caesar's Palace, and then not go back. At least that was my experience. And I believe everybody that was in our party, there were like 6 of us. It wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't bad. It was a great experience. But I don't think it was worth going back for. So I was kind of surprised to see that one listed as top restaurants here in Vegas. So, and there's so many Gordon Ramsay restaurants in Vegas. It's like 8 of them, I think, just on the Strip, different Gordon Ramsay. So I was surprised to see that one. Let's see, Hell's Kitchen. That's the Hell's Kitchen one that I just talked about. Partage Restaurant by Guy Savoy. No, Restaurant Guy Savoy and Partage Restaurant. Restaurant Guy Savoy I have heard of. Partage I have not heard of, never heard of them. So I'll have to do some research and see what that's all about. Joe's Seafood. Now, I was surprised about this one, and I only heard of it when one of our friends was visiting, and apparently whenever she visits, if she can, she has to go to Joe's Seafood. Never been there. Have we? Sorry, Christine is saying that we have been to Joe's Seafood. Must have not been memorable because I don't remember going to Joe's Seafood. So, all right. So that's that for you foodies out there. But if you're a foodie, you probably already know that this exists because you got your finger on that pulse there. Let's see here. Golden Ramsay Pub and Caesars. Yeah, really enjoy Gordon Ramsay's Pub. Yeah. So, but this one here, this is Hell's Kitchen. This is the one outside of Caesars. I enjoy Gordon Ramsay's Pub. I have been there many times, and I will continue to go back there. Always have a great experience. The food, the vibe, all of it. I was saying I was surprised at Hell's Kitchen because it just kind of seemed like it was very much it was more for social media. Like it was more to be seen there, to say that you were there, kind of seemed like the emphasis of that particular establishment. The food was fine. Again, the food was absolutely fine, just not somewhere I would go back. Where like the Gordon Ramsay Pub inside of Caesars, one of my favorite spots. We go there. We've been there a lot, and we will continue to go back there. Yeah. So thanks for sharing that one. So I did eat the whole tomahawk steak at Oscars. Love every bite during holiday. Oh, thank you. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Gary. Yeah, no, that place is awesome. And now with the patio that they have out there, it's really nice. It's that property has come a long way. I guess is the best way to say it. The new management has come in and really done some positive things there. So yeah, we'll be down there in December for the Santa run. Down there, and we always go down to the plaza. We'll go down to the Sand Dollar there and have a Christmas drink because the Sand Dollar Lounge in the plaza, they do like this big obnoxious Christmas stuff in there. That's really fun. But thank you so much for watching, Gary, and going to Oscar. So, what food deals are you loving right now? Ooh, gosh, I don't know. One thing, I mean, if you're looking for food deals. A lot of places have happy hours that they don't really advertise. You just kind of look them up online and you'll find some great happy hour deals. Happy hour, like Caesar's Palace, we love, what's the spot that we go to for happy hour in the Forum Shops? Trevi and Caesar's Forum Shops, they have a great happy hour. Blondie's, has a great happy hour. That's over in the Miracle Mile. It's a great deal. Let's see, who else? Gosh, you put me right on the spot there. I have to think about that and come back to that one. But there's so much, and actually, I would recommend going off strip, like Ellis Island. Hit up the Village Pub. That's the best prime rib in town, especially for the price. They have their own brewery in there, so you can get craft brews super cheap and delicious. Definitely recommend getting off strip. Let's see, Crack Shack. Crack Shack is really good. Totally worth every single penny down there by Park MGM. I don't know, Christine's scowling at me. Did you want to add?
No, I'm just laughing at you. You're like the worst person to ask for food.
Oh, Christine claims I'm the worst person to ask for food, but we'll see. There's just so much food options that it's really hard to say, like, what do you love right now? I would definitely recommend getting off strip as much as you can. I guess that'd be my number one recommendation. So let's see. Let's see what else is going on here. Grand Canal Shops, street performers. What's going on there? Can you elaborate on that? Street performers at Grand Canal Shops.
The street performer, it says on it. They're not going to pick on. They're going to be gone as the 6th.
Street performers at the Grand Canal Shops. Oh, Streetmosphere is a show.
Those are all the people in the Grand Canal Shops performing.
Oh, so no more street performers in the Grand Canal Shops
As of the 6th.
as of December 6th. Streetmosphere will be ending on December 6th over there at the Grand Canal Shops. Let's see. Let's talk about some winners. Go Raiders. Best way to get tickets for Sunday's game. Oh my gosh. Resale sites. Really, that's the best way, is just a resale. StubHub. Vivid Seats is another one. I always get ads on Instagram for tickets for Raiders games. That's really the best way. I mean, if you buy direct from like Ticketmaster, that Allegiant Stadium uses for those, you're going to pay a lot more than you would on like StubHub, which is majority people that bought tickets at some point and are just trying to get rid of them. And a lot of them do take a loss on the tickets that they're reselling, because you might even find season ticket holders that are selling their own seats that they've already paid for, just trying to get whatever they can for them so they're not empty, because they've already paid for these tickets anyway. So that's really the best way. One thing I'll say, though, is Raiders always sell out. And it's not necessarily the Raiders that are selling out, but so many people come to Vegas to watch their team and do a Vegas vacation, which is really one of the reasons why Vegas wanted a NFL team here, so that you could have another reason for people to come and do long weekends here in Vegas is, going to a football game. That's why the baseball team is coming also. So let's see. Let's talk about some winners. So 2 jackpots over at Caesars on Wednesday. Somebody was in from Vermont, and they won, oh my gosh, $125,000 on a slot machine on their 8th spin, which is pretty funny, because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm gambling on a slot machine, I will count like 10 spins. If I don't get anything really, at least even in 10 spins, then I cash out and go somewhere else. So you'll see me going 1, 2, 3. I count to 10, and then at 10, if I'm not at least even or close to even, like it's like something entertaining, I'll cash out and move on. So this person was on their 8th spin and won $125,000 jackpot. So good for them. Thursday morning, somebody won $100,000 on video poker. That's pretty awesome. Congratulations to those guys. I love seeing people win. Even, I say small, but it's something. When you see people on social media winning, holding their $5,000 checks, the big obnoxious fake checks. I just love to see that, because people come and, it's part of the excitement. Although I always say, whenever anyone asks me how much money should I bring to Vegas to gamble, my piece of advice, and I will share the same thing with anybody that asks me, Bring as much as you can afford to lose that will not impact your life once you get back home. That's how much you bring. And everybody's budget for that is going to be different. It might be $100, 500, 5,000, 10,000, etc. Whatever you can afford to lose that's not going to have a negative impact on your life once you get back home, that's how much you should budget to bring for Vegas. Let's see. So let's talk about some events. So we actually just went to the latest Cirque show here in Vegas, Mad Apple. And again, nobody pays us to talk about any of this, to talk about anything at all that we recommend. Is purely based on our experience when it comes to these recommendations. So we went to see Mad Apple for the first time, and they've been open probably a year or a little bit longer than a year. For whatever reason, we haven't had a chance to see them until just yesterday. And I'll tell you, this is one of the best Cirque shows that we've been to. So much fun and so much diversity in terms of the entertainment. And really, so, like the Love show for the Cirque du Soleil Love show really follows that Beatles theme and all of their music. So you have that theme. Mystère has that theme. O is a big water show, has that thing going on. You guys see where I'm going with this. Mad Apple, the theme for them would be that there is no real theme other than chaos, I guess, like organized chaos. You have all of these amazing performers just performing. So you have acrobatics, and you have dancing, and you have singing, and you have music, and you have finger puppets, just so much different stuff, breakdancing, just so much stuff going on. Highly, highly recommend if you're looking to see a show that I would say is moderately priced. Yeah, I guess moderately priced. It's not. I don't know. It's not one of the lower end $10, $15 matinees that are great. I mean, those guys are performing. They're busting their butts every day, all day here in Vegas. It's not that low end, and it's not like Bruno Mars, right? That's going to be $200 to $400 for one ticket. Kind of in the middle there. So you can expect to pay, I don't know, probably 65 to $100 per ticket, depending on what type of seat you're looking for. Now, I will say the theater at Mad Apple, though, it's not the largest theater. So didn't really, and I've seen another show in there before. It's really not a terrible seat in the house. So I wouldn't worry too much about spending the highest end for a ticket in that theater where Mad Apple is, because it is kind of a smaller theater. So it's not really a bad seat in the house there. You can see the entire stage from pretty much anywhere that you are in that arena. But definitely highly recommend Mad Apple, the newest Cirque du Soleil show over at New York, New York. Let's see, Usher, still here in Vegas, going to be here, Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday, so 24th and 25th. The Raiders and Chiefs are going to be here. Ray, I hope you're able to get some tickets. The Raiders and the Chiefs are going to versus the Chiefs. That one's probably already sold out on Sunday here. So expect for it to be a busy Sunday here in Vegas because the Raiders are at home. So you do get a lot of drive-in traffic, and it's a long weekend. So I'm sure there's plenty of people that are going to take Monday off also, kind of as a hangover day to get back in before they go to work on Tuesday. Kesha is going to be over at the Palms on the 24th. The Palms, I have to say, and again, nobody pays us. I have to just keep saying this because there are people that do get paid to recommend things on their channels, more sponsored channels. We are not. We're not paid by anybody to recommend anything. But one thing that I will say is the Palms is a beautiful property. We just did a video on all of the dining options at the Palms. And I'll tell you, I was honestly surprised at the range, not just in price, but type of food that you could get. Mexican, Asian, buffet with everything on the buffet, grab and go, fine dining Italian, more casual Italian. Just there's so much. It's really, and then of course they have their own food court with all of the other stuff, right? Your pizza and all that stuff. So many different options there at the Palms, and it's a beautiful property, absolutely beautiful property. The casino, all of the restaurants, entertainment. We went over there for a luau. It had an amazing time. and it's not far from the Strip. So definitely recommend whether you're going to go see Kesha at the Palms this weekend or Thanksgiving Day, or you're just in town and looking for a different property to check out. Definitely just pop in there. Oh, sorry, the 24th is Friday, Black Friday. Let's see. You've also got Vegas Golden Knights in town this weekend on Saturday, playing Arizona. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Now, that's a fun procession. So if you're going to the hockey game, fantastic. Get there extra early so you can see the procession and, of course, the night fight just before. Hey, DG, happy Thanksgiving. Good place to watch a game downtown. Is it possible to get comp drinks watching at a sports book? Great question, Mike. So the best place to watch sports downtown is going to be Circa. That place, like that entire property was built with sports in mind. So it's like you have the sports book and the property was built around the sports book. It's made for sports. As far as how they do comps, I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure you're going to have to place a wager to get comp drinks in the sports book. You might get tickets. I know a lot of the properties will give tickets, drink tickets, based on how much you bet. Now, I know Caesars Entertainment will give you 2 drink tickets up to, I believe, up to a $20 value per ticket on a $100 wager. Now, it doesn't have to be one bet, but total of $100 betting. That's Caesars. MGM, probably the same. Downtown, I'm not 100% because I've never bet sports downtown, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be tied to a wager, not just, have somebody come in at 7 o'clock in the morning, start watching sports and stay there till midnight and just drink for free all day long. So not 100%, but I will tell you that Circa is the absolute best property to watch sports downtown. And that place was built for sports. You'll have a great time. Super high energy too in there. Let's see. What else do we have here? Any insight on Hyde Lounge at T-Mobile Arena for Saturday's game? Oh, Hyde Lounge. So yeah, it's all you can eat and all you can drink. That's what it is. Now the ticket price varies based on who they're playing. If it's a rivalry like Colorado Avalanche, for example, tickets in general will cost more. Now, I will tell you, Hyde Lounge, though, they do have televisions inside of Hyde Lounge. You can see the arena from part of it. Sorry, I'm trying to speak visually, share it with my hands. So you'll see Hyde Lounge is kind of like this. It's like a kind of a horseshoe. The arena's down here. So that is standing room only to actually see the ice from Hyde Lounge. Although, like I said, they have televisions all throughout, and it's all you can eat, all you can drink. So, if you kind of don't care as much about the outcome of the game, but you want to kind of be there in the excitement, all you can eat, all you can drink, and be at the game and get some glimpses here and there, absolutely worth it. And it's always full. There's always a lot of people in Hyde Lounge, probably for that exact reason. Like I could go up there, get all my cocktails, get all my food. I'm at the game. I can watch it when I feel like it, but I'm not in a seat dedicated to the game the entire time. Any more slot tournaments? Nope. Have not done any more slot tournaments. I really haven't even seen any. There's some video poker stuff, but my brain doesn't move fast enough to do the calculations for video poker, what you should hold, what pays what, because I don't play video poker very much, but it's still on my list. I will do another one and we'll document it also. So. Ooh, thirsty. All right, guys, that's it for me. I got to start getting ready to head out for the evening. We're going to do some more sightseeing here in Vegas before the big Turkey Day, and then partake in Drinksgiving here on this Wednesday before. But hope you guys all have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for supporting our channel, tuning in right here, the great questions and engagement. We appreciate you guys. And again, if you're not already, follow us on social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We're everywhere. We're Ninth Island Connection. And if you have very specific questions, I do my best to respond to comments here, but we get a lot more comments here on YouTube than we do on our other social media. So if you have a pressing question, Like where's the best way, like Mike's question, where's the best place to watch a game downtown? DM me on Instagram. Follow us on Ninth Island Connection. Send me a message. I'm so much faster to respond to messages on Instagram because we do use that platform a lot more for posting more regularly every single day. So, and like I said, I'm going to be posting updates to Instagram for F1 and different things happening here in Vegas throughout the weekend for you guys. So if you guys have questions, hit me up there and I'd be happy to answer your questions for you guys. All right, guys. Thank you guys again and hope you have a wonderful weekend and we'll see you next time.